You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Kane. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE SmackDown After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE SmackDown After Show.
You buy a new shirt?
This is one from our Alaska. This was the last new one I had in the package. I broke it out for this.
Oh, nice. Well, welcome to SmackDown After Show. I'm your host, Ric Drasin, and today we have a full house full of people. Boy, this is going to be a lot of fun, right? Angelina Little Egypt sitting next to me.
Good to be here.
It is good to be here. And then we have, I think we'll go with our special guest first.
Whoa.
Okay, well, Al,
dogging you.
Yeah. We are so excited because Al Burke, Mr. Outrageous, has such a busy schedule, and we were able to get him here today. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Barely got here, but I just left Special Olympics for the weekend. But I drove straight here. I'm here, guys.
Thank you.
Girls.
Thank you for
Cool.
You had a bear that came here, you said?
Exactly.
Or you barely got here?
What?
Nothing.
For those,
Let's talk about a little bit about what he does.
Yeah, so for those listeners who are not familiar with Mr. Outrageous, he is an actor, a stuntman, and a 16-time pro wrestling champion.
Yep.
If his face looks familiar, it's because he's a very busy working character actor who's appeared in 58 movies, 18 TV shows, 72 music videos. I'm so jealous.
They did their homework.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
41 TV commercials, and is best known for being the large Billy Idol fan in The Wedding Singer.
That's right, I remember that.
Was it fun working with Billy Idol?
It really was, other than Billy Idol is totally out to lunch. I mean, this guy, way too much.
You forgot one thing. Good friend of Ric Drasin.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Long time friends.
Actually, Rick and I go way back.
That's right.
Many years.
Way back to the back of the bus.
But you also notice I wouldn't, come here for Rick.
I know, because I asked you several times.
But, this pretty girl calls me. Oh, I'm there.
One time.
Not a problem.
One time.
One call, yeah.
So insulted.
And it wasn't even a call, it was a text.
It was sexting.
Yeah.
Yes. We have also Mr. and Mrs. Ballard.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Straight from Atascadero.
And I have to say one thing to your brother. Keep your hands off my girlfriend Ina sitting next to you.
Okay. Put a pillow in between them, right?
Because I know how you are with itchy fingers. So watch him.
Yeah.
That's good. I got an eye on him.
Okay, good. All right. So let's go.
Let's talk about the SmackDown that aired this week. It started right off with a promo where Paul Heyman comes out. Did you guys see that? And then he faces off with Jericho right there, pitches the whole contract thing for CM Punk, and now they're on. What did you guys think of that promo?
Well, Jericho's always been good on the mic.
Yeah.
That's one of his strong points. He's one of those few that can actually wrestle and talk. So.
Yeah.
I am such a huge fan of Jericho. He's just
the jacket or him?
No, just him.
Oh, okay.
Everything
I like the
about
jacket, too.
I do. You know how much that jacket costs?
No.
Like, that jacket probably could feed a family in
Seriously.
Africa, like an entire colony. It's a pretty pricey jacket, very, very pricey jacket.
Wow.
I had one like that when I started in the late 60s. My mom made me out of sequins and velvet. And I can't find it. I saved it for years, and I lost it. I had no idea what happened to it.
Our mom, she made us a camouflage one.
Yeah, we couldn't see it.
We've never been able to find it.
We couldn't even see it when you're wearing it.
Okay, so right off the bat, there's another promo for Miz TV. They have the couches set up in the ring, and then out comes Randy Orton, Team Hell No, which is Kane and Daniel Bryan. And then they have Daniel has a mental breakdown, actually, which was quite endearing.
Everybody's against him.
Yeah, yeah.
The Miz has been absent for a little while, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so what happens in this promo is they break up. Kane and
The relationship
Daniel.
is over.
Yeah.
He thinks everybody's against him.
Yeah.
Nobody likes him, and as much as they say they're not, he goes berserk.
He does, and then they storm off. And then here's the first match. It's Chris Jericho against Curtis
Wait,
Axel.
didn't Teddy come in and make a match with Daniel in the Shield?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Thank you. He
Okay.
did. So Teddy comes out, does a quick little promo,
Right.
and then now there's the match.
There's the match for
Well,
later on the show.
let's not pass the breaking up part. You know, it's always hard to do. And I remember when Rick broke up with me, I'm still heartbroken over that. That was over 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
And I had to run to Al to comfort me.
How long do you think
And
that
I
breakup's
didn't do a
gonna?
very good job of it.
Al has he's got a lot of comfort there.
Yeah. I'm not the comforting type.
Well, what do you think about that angle? How long do you think that breakup's gonna last?
I don't see Daniel Bryan as a heel. I think he's a much better face. He just
Crowd's behind him right now.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Why
He's got them.
turn him? That's the thing. There's no reason to at this moment.
Well, okay.
I mean, I got to say something. I mean, my biggest bitch, didn't we used to tune in to watch wrestling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On wrestling. 19 minutes to the first match.
Okay.
Okay, I'm talking 19 minutes of blah, 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 blah. I think the fans, and I've heard it from a lot of them, they want to see wrestling. What happened to frickin' wrestling?
Let me tell you something, Al. I get ragged on for saying that. Les Thatcher came on there. He got ragged on for saying that, but you're absolutely right.
Well, rag on me, bitches. I don't care. I mean, we want to see wrestling.
Exactly.
Well,
Wrestling.
And you know what? There's
Wrestling.
I get that. I get that to put those workers through an hour and 20 minutes of action-packed wrestling. My God, I can only imagine what that would be like on a weekly basis for their bodies.
I mean, I did.
Well, they have enough wrestlers
Yeah.
they can fill the card.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day when I was one of the jobbers for the WWF, I mean, the big boys enjoyed that because they would go out, like we were talking earlier, they'd do a 3-minute match. It was a squash match.
Yeah.
Right.
We got paid well. I mean, we made a lot of money. And they didn't get hurt.
Right.
Now they're going out having to do full matches plus work. We all know we work hurt all the time.
Right.
When you get a night off of an easy match with a buddy or something, it's like,
Yeah.
thank
Yeah,
you.
Exactly.
But these guys, I mean, the guys at the WWE now, they're hating life.
Yeah, I mean, but remember back in the day of the WWF, they used to actually do two-a-days where they would do like an afternoon like matinee show,
Yeah.
and then they'd have to either fly or drive like within city limits to the show that evening. They were on the road 300 days a year, and the rings were actually a lot harder then.
That's right.
Some of them were really hard.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, a lot of those guys you see now, you think, well, gosh, they didn't do much. They didn't bump a whole lot. They didn't do the crazy things that we're doing today.
No.
But most of those guys, like we've wrestled the Bushwhackers, they could barely walk. Once they're in the ring, they're okay, but getting to the ring is the. And I remember there's WrestleMania. They brought back all the old. All the old
remember that.
timers. And I remember it took Iron Sheik so long to walk down the long ramp to the
Poor
ring
thing.
that
Poor
it's like
thing.
people were passing him to
was
get in
getting
there.
lapped.
Yeah.
Well, and once you're in the ring in the heat of the match, you don't feel the injury as you do
No,
walking in and out of
exactly. Yeah,
it.
adrenaline takes
Right.
over.
And once
Yeah.
you shower and get back in your car, you're dead to go eat.
Yeah.
It's like, then it kills you.
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah, we can
talk
do
about
whatever.
we talk about Jericho now?
We can do whatever
He's
you
such
want.
a cutie. I love that match.
Oh, I love him.
That was a complete. If you wanted to do, if you wanted to set an example of what a wrestling match is, I think that match with Axel was top notch. What great work from both of them. And
Yeah.
I wasn't 100% sure I was going to start liking Axel because the first promos he started doing on the mic, he was kind of uncomfortable and nervous, but his work just keeps getting better and better. Now I'm starting to turn a little bit and
Well,
starting
he's-
to like what I see.
That was actually one of his best matches.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
so too.
He's got it in his blood. And then anyone who works Jericho, Jericho's elite. He's a ring general in there. He'll like basically hold your hand and walk you through it. If you can't have a good match with him, you're like really bad or not ready.
You
Yeah.
might as well give up.
Exactly.
Well, I
I mean,
loved
one
it.
thing I got to say about that match, it was like old school. It was fun to watch. I mean, it was holes, it was back,
Yeah.
it was forth. It wasn't a lot of the wild, crazy BS we see now. It was just old school wrestling, and it was fun to see. I mean, the drop kick. I mean,
Yeah.
the only problem I had, Jericho 2 times put his hand up to block. When it's like, dude, take it like a man.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we're there for, right? I mean, we take our bumps and bruises, and but I mean, other than that, it was.
You're right. They had some holds in there that I hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah, it was cool. It was like back to the old days.
So where does Jericho rank within the WWE family as far as being like the most athletic? Or he's definitely has a lot of gymnastic qualities in his matches. I mean, he's flipping, he's flying off the top ropes, he's
he's got staying power. I mean, he's always there.
His age hinders him, and he doesn't know what he wants, if he wants to do music or when he wants to do wrestling. He has itches, and then he scratches those itches. So sometimes he'll stick with the music and take a break from the wrestling.
I think that's normal with a lot of people that are creative.
Yeah, that's
because,
true.
If you're creative in one, you'll be creative in others, and you do this and you do that, and you think this is a little more fun now, this isn't as much, and then that's more fun, and this isn't as much. And so he is talented. Didn't he have a TV show too?
Yeah, he did. Well, that robot. The Robot Bat Wars or whatever.
Still going on, right?
Yeah.
So Axel robs Jericho of the win for that one.
They need to put him out. They need to put him over. They need to elevate him, and no better way than having Jericho do it. And I'm sure Jericho, being a big fan of Kurt, had no problem putting him over either.
You think he's as good as his dad?
No, not yet. He could be. He has like I said last week. He has shades of his father. So I think he can get there.
You think he has the same charisma as his father?
No, not yet. Charisma is something that
you only have it. You have it or you don't.
Right, exactly.
Well, we finally heard the announcers make mention to where the Curtis Axel name came from, and the kind of tribute to Larry.
Yeah, Larry the Axe was his grandfather, and his dad was Kurt. Yeah, so.
Yeah, kind of a nice little combo.
Yeah. I still don't know why they don't use the Henning last name.
Yeah, I know, right? They should.
Yeah.
It's legendary. You can't lose that.
Yeah.
Like Curtis Axel Henning or C.A. Henning, something,
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you use your real last name, Flair?
Woo! Actually, Ric Flair's real last name is Flair, it's just spelled differently.
It's Fleur.
Yeah.
So next is this quick little promo with Ryback and Kane, and Ryback tries to turn him, doesn't work. And it was kind of a cute little promo. I think Ryback's good.
It was short.
Yeah.
We have Ryback later on, which I want to say a few things, but that was a quick promo. Yeah, it was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that, too. So then they go right from that promo to another promo, and it's the Wyatt family promo.
You might want to talk to Al over here about all those promos.
But you know what? I dig that. You want me to tell you why I dig this promo?
Okay.
Because it is more skit-related than it is a promo. And I think a quick skit-related act is going to establish a character quicker than if they just continue to cut promo after promo. I mean, here they are in the Outbacks. You can hear the banjos, okay?
Oh, is this the Wyatts?
Wait, aren't they the... Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Wyatts are the, they're in the Outback, and they have the long... And they're kind of like, Deliverance is coming.
Yeah.
That's kind of the deal with the Wyatt family. Am I right there?
You're right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well,
don't throw me now. Do not do that to me.
There's like like a promo, and that's actually called a what's the name? A vignette.
A vignette. We call it skits.
It's a skit. It's a vignette.
Okay.
It's a skit. It's a story.
Right.
And it's more than a promo.
Yeah,
it's more than saying, I'll see you next
I
week.
do appreciate those much more than promos.
Yeah.
Because you take the person like out of the element of wrestling and you put them in a different element, and like I enjoy vignettes. I always loved how in WWF when they would introduce a character, Mankind was in the basement of some person's house cutting his doing his vignettes until that person opened the door, and then that's when he's like, oh no, I think something bad is gonna happen to this person.
I think it's called. I think the word is interstipples, something like interstipples they call it, which they do now on TV, and they should do a 20, 30-second little quick storyline on something rather than a promo. They do it with other shows too, and so you see a quick storyline. Oh man, I got to watch that because it's interstitials is what it's called. Interstitials.
Oh, no, that we're gonna have to write. I'm gonna have to write that
it's
later.
A big word.
It is a big word.
He'll never remember it then.
Now, speaking of that, Al, if the WWE, if SmackDown did more of those vignettes, would that be more entertaining to the viewer than just promo after promo? Because I really enjoyed that, and it became more, oh no, stop it.
When MTV stopped showing music videos, how many people went, are you kidding me?
Why do they still call it MTV, Music TV?
Right.
And there's not. You can't find music videos anywhere.
Yeah,
on
make
there.
it reality TV. I mean,
Yeah,
my
not
God.
even VH1 isn't. They don't even show videos, music videos there.
Okay, well then guess what? Another promo. Sorry,
Yay.
but it's
No,
a
I
diva
know.
promo. It's a diva promo. We got Stephanie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they're wearing clothes, so.
Yeah.
Oh, when I say diva, I mean Stephanie and Vince come out and they do
But that's
this
two
promo.
divas.
Especially with his hairstyle now.
Oh,
I
my
work
goodness.
for him. He signed my
said it.
checks. I
Yeah.
don't care.
He said it.
Wow. So Triple
I said it. I don't
H,
care.
Triple H had it planned. He was going to come out and wrestle. And then Stephanie put the kibosh on it because of the tough love. And then Vince steps up and says, absolutely not. And then Triple H leaves in the limo all mad.
Yeah, they files
See
for,
what women
and
do?
next week he files for divorce.
Right.
Yeah, he had a hissy fit.
Yeah.
And, you know, he doesn't get to wear the pants in the family
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Stephanie does.
Did he ever?
No, but he didn't realize that. He got stalked.
There's one thing. That Vince went back to his old hairstyle. Remember he used to part it and comb it down?
yes.
Now he's back to.
Yeah.
It looks so much better. So much better.
Well, to
The first
make
thing
a
I
note of that.
noticed,
And now we're ready for our second match.
which will be.
Which is the Alberto Del Rio
Yes.
versus Heath Slater.
How
And
long did it take to get to that match?
I
About
wasn't
25
keep-
minutes.
Yeah, well,
I
wasn't
was.
keeping- oh, geez,
It was
Al.
over an hour from the time it started.
Well, Shannon, why don't you mention your Heath
Yes.
Slater story?
I have a Heath Slater
Okay,
story.
let's hear it.
I was in the drive-through at El Pollo Loco, and this this girl was working there. Yeah, she's a somewhat attractive girl, and she keeps looking at me, and she'd go like, "Oh, sorry, we'll be just 1 second," and then she'd come back. Do you want any salsa? I'd be like, no, thanks, that's okay. And then finally, she had the nerve, and she goes, can I ask you something? And I go, yeah, sure. And she goes, do you watch wrestling? And I go, yeah. And she goes, are you that guy in the three-man band, Heath Slater? And I get people on the show always say that. I'm like, no, I am not. He looks like me, though. I'm older than he is. He looks like me. So then I actually I gave her like some information on what she could look up the Ballard brothers. Of course she never did because you know.
Because she wasn't impressed with the
No,
Ballard
not at
brothers.
all.
She wanted Heath.
I got one for you. There's a family that comes to Bob's car show, a man and wife and his two little girls. It's Hulk Hogan. Oh, hi, how are you? Well, we love you. We think you're wonderful. Can you take pictures with my daughter? Sure. And I didn't know what to say. I just went with it, right?
Yeah.
I've seen him 6 times since. Always, hey, Hulk, how you doing? And I don't have the heart to tell him no now.
All you have to do is say, brother, and they'll believe you.
Yeah,
No, because he keeps saying in the pictures Hulk Hogan.
I signed it Al Burke.
Pretty soon he's gonna start
real
writing
name.
checks as Hulk Hogan, right?
So when Alberto comes out, well, before he comes out, he has his manager's Ricardo Rodriguez, and then he does the best intros ever. It's just like you feel like you're in a Mexican house somewhere, and you know, it's the energy that guy can put into, you know, announcing Alberto's appearance into the ring.
Alberto.
Yeah. I love it. See, that is awesome. Now, I absolutely loved that, and he is so cute. I love watching him. And this week, okay, when Alberto's in the ring, he actually helps Alberto by jumping off the ropes.
Does a top rope jump.
Yeah, does a top rope jump.
In
knocks
those
out.
shoes.
Yeah, in those shoes. Yeah. He
He
can.
makes a good girl.
He doesn't make the best commentator, though. We've seen that on Main Event.
Wait, where did that voice come from?
Whoa.
Out of the toilet.
Is that you, God?
Oh, God.
That's our engineer, Steven, and we're so happy to have him here with us. As a matter of fact,
He's a good guy.
he's a great guy. He is a great guy. And
No matter what Rick says about him, I think he's a good guy.
I love him.
And Stephen, do you think it's a good time to come in and tell us a little bit about what Maria's doing with her movie?
About what Maria's doing with Serial Buddies?
Yes.
Well, I can definitely do that. Let me take the camera off Shane. Nobody wants to see that.
No one can see that.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I should probably turn on my camera,
Ratings
too.
just went up. Ratings just went up.
As long as it's not on Shane, we're good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Serial Buddies is a movie that Maria and Kevin of AfterBuzz TV, the founders of AfterBuzz TV, have been making for the last few years, and it is now out for digital download through iTunes or SerialBuddies.com. And we don't do many advertisements or really any at all on AfterBuzz TV or any of these 60 after shows we do for all your favorite television shows. But we also do work probably 24/7 to get this content out to you guys. So whenever there's anything you can do to support us, we really like to tell you, and this is one way you can really help us out, is by going to iTunes, downloading Serial Buddies. It's only $4.99, or if you want it really super HD to see the nostrils of John Comerford, our very own, you can download it for $5.99. But nobody, I don't know, I'd rather go with the $4.99 one.
Extra $1 for the nostrils.
Extra $1 for the nostrils. It is John Comerford. You will see a lot of familiar faces. Tamara Berg does the wardrobe. John Comerford's in it. You'll see Phil get, the executive producer of AfterBuzz, Phil, gets his comeuppance because it is a serial killer buddy movie. And it's also got Christopher Lloyd from, of course, Back to the Future, Kathy Lee Griffin, Beth Bears from Two Broke Girls. It's got an all-star cast, and Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore. He eats pieces of like you for breakfast. All right, that's
Kathy Lee Gifford, which she's always amazing to watch and always so fun on camera. I love her.
But yeah, do us a solid. We're not going to charge you for this podcast yet.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. And just go ahead and go to iTunes and download Serial Buddies for us. Thanks again.
Thank you, Stephen. Just to go back to that Alberto Del Rio fight match before we finish here. So Heath Slater versus Alberto Del Rio. It basically never happens because 3MB jump in before the bell. Ricardo Rodriguez helps Del Rio fight back, and then Dolph Ziggler appears on the big screen and announces he will be on Raw to see Del Rio. And that's how that one went down. So kind of a quick little deal, but really entertaining because they threw the manager in there, and that never happens. Okay, they work the sidelines. You never see a manager, actually delivering the way he did today.
Well, Ricardo can wrestle.
Yeah.
Everybody knows he's good.
He's actually Chimera. Oh, whoop.
What?
Chimera. Whoop.
What are you doing?
That's the name he uses.
Yeah, under a mask.
Yeah.
Mascara.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Well, that explains
He's
it.
been over my house.
I just broke
explains it.
kayfabe. Whoops.
Oh my gosh.
There is no kayfabe.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the moment we've
between
been
you and
waiting
I.
for. The third match comes up, and this is really spectacular. It's Kane versus Ryback. Kane enters the ring, right? He's in the ring, and then fire shoots out.
You look like Kane today, by the way, with your all
With
your
my
red, and your red lipstick.
don't
No,
know.
she looks
You
like
know what?
Elizabeth Hurley when she played the devil.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Right?
You know what?
Right.
Thank you, because I
Eating
didn't
the
know if I
snake
was
around
being
her.
insulted or getting
You know
a
the movie I'm
compliment.
talking
Oh,
about?
no,
I do.
that's a
yeah.
compliment.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
thank you. No, the whole Kane reference. Thank you
No,
very
I
much.
was just referring to the red dress.
Okay,
I wanted to
thank
throw it out there without saying, "Hey, it's a nice red dress." So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so
Good cover.
Kane's in the ring, fire shooting out from the turnbuckles. Ryback shows up in the ambulance, which is now becoming a theme that's going to
It's
eventually
gonna end after
explode.
the John Cena
Right.
match.
Yeah, it's good for
'cause-
now.
And you know what? I had no idea Ryback was from Vegas. I'm a Vegas girl myself, and apparently he did go to high school there. He played some sports. I Googled him. Of course, I got very interested when I heard this the first time I ever heard he was from Vegas.
Yeah,
and,
he's a fantastic badminton player.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's all over the court.
All right. So it's a great, really high energy, kind of violent. What is the deal? Kind of violent.
He laughs at me
match.
all the time. What was the best part of that match?
It makes me crack up.
Well, I don't know if it was when Kane went into the table or
Or-
not. What was the best?
What was the
part
most
for you?
impressive part? I'll tell you what the most impressive
Yeah.
part was. Do you know? Why?
Because I didn't see it.
No.
He thought it was an hour show and he left.
No. I heard it was 3 stages of hell. It was actually 4, and once they didn't have any more wrestling, I shut it off. Sorry.
Ryback actually picked up Kane and literally, without any post,
Yes.
pressed him overhead.
Almost, I didn't
yes.
see it.
And held
Almost
him
didn't
there.
get it.
I know, but my God.
Did you see it? He almost actually.
That's literally dead weight.
Yeah, it is. Oh my God! And how much does Kane weigh?
Like 800.
He's a big dude, 7 foot, probably
That's a
over
lot of
300.
dead. I mean, picking up a body's hard
Yeah.
enough. It's
Yeah.
like Jello, you know. It's just picking it
Yeah.
up.
Especially without
Yeah.
a post.
Right.
That makes
Yeah,
it
there's no
harder.
post.
Yeah, and you know when he first started to pick up Kane, I saw his elbows kind of start coming down a little bit,
Yeah.
and then he just gutted. He just gutted
Yeah,
it out.
I mean, it's like a feat of strength. It's amazing.
It's amazing too how he did that with the the wellness policy in place.
Yeah.
I don't know how that.
No, that's.
Worked out.
Yeah.
You think they think he got cussed out for that afterwards? Don't do stuff like that.
Wow.
He's strong. The guy is strong.
Oh yeah, he's strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this match goes on. It's incredible.
Actually a
It's
good match.
absolutely incredible. And
Yeah.
Ryback's, just evolved into this ferocious beast. And now, as a viewer, I'm afraid for Cena when he sees him later. So it's working. He's very, very effective. The ambulance thing, and then the table. Probably the second most impressive part of the match is when he picks Kane up and slams him and breaks him into the table. And I didn't know if Kane could take that bump, and that table just cracked like a saltine cracker. It just crushed.
Yeah, that was good. It was a good match.
Yeah.
Kane's a good worker.
He is,
He's
but-
another
He is.
guy that is a hand holder to people. Where
Exactly.
He leads them through
Right.
matches.
But Ryback's getting better every
Yeah,
show.
he still needs to be led, but Ryback definitely is getting up there, and I think he's much better as a heel than a babyface.
Yeah.
He comes across better. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could see him when he was being led before, but now it's not as much.
Right.
Yeah.
He's thinking on his
Yeah.
own.
So Kane actually beats Ryback because of the DQ
Yeah.
on the table. So
Right.
Kane gets that win. And then the next is a quick little promo. Again, Damien Sandow comes out, this time with a chess game. He's going to do a computer chess match. And Sheamus comes out, and they do their bannering back and forth, and then Sheamus kicks the computer,
Yeah.
busts it up, and they actually, pisses Damien off, and then they start swinging.
These are the things you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like senseless.
I'm kind of
Are you done?
at my fill with
Yeah.
Sheamus. This is
Hey, fella.
Yeah, it's one of those you've seen one match, you've seen them all. I think he's a good guy, and I think he works really hard, and I think he tries really hard. But he's kind of still one-dimensional, and like his skits just don't come across like they come across always the same.
It sounds like he's reading it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, Sheamus has, I think, a huge appeal for the young audience, those kids.
Yeah, you make a good point where I think Sheamus is very, like, with the bright red hair,
Yes.
and like he is very over with the kids.
Yeah.
Very, very over.
Super animated. He looks like you're watching some type of a cartoon kind of play out in front of you, which
Right.
is probably why there might not be any changes in that direction. I don't know. What do you think? I mean,
Yeah.
it's working. What he's doing is working.
I think you make a good point. And I think he's geared more towards the kids. I think some of the grown-ups, I'm not a grown-up yet, but some of the grown-ups are
Yeah.
probably just like, okay. But
I think Damien does drag out that particular promo a little bit too long. He tries to work the audience. This time he's in Long Island, and he throws out like their school system, and he kind of throws that school system under the bus, and it kind of gets the crowd all fired up. But it does run several minutes where I think it could be just as effective. But I'm all for keeping promos and skits. I am, because I have ADD, and I want to be constant. I want what I'm viewing to be constantly changing, or I'll get bored, and that's just me as a viewer.
So you mean if we're constantly changing, putting out new matches, you'd be bored?
Well,
Real wrestling?
Well,
Back to the day.
it depends if they can deliver a good storyline. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there,
no,
Al.
no.
I'm not
I
saying
agree.
I disagree with you. I'm just giving a different opinion to what I'm watching as a girl, maybe, as maybe not such a sophisticated viewer, someone who is just
I feel like they're just filling time with him.
Well, with Sandow, too, he's very good at researching whatever goes on in that city.
well, is it
past
him
things.
or is it the writers?
Yeah,
that
it's
are
him or the
doing it?
writers. Somebody's doing it because he's very good at like delivering that. Like the thing with Gretzky last week was great. I mean, most people probably forgot about that, but I guarantee you, everyone in Edmonton has not forgotten about that.
I heard you say that the last episode here.
And just to kind of keep it going in the breakdown of the show, really quick, it may have only been like 30 seconds to a minute, but Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan do a quick little promo because they have to wrestle together. Okay, earlier in the promo, Daniel breaks up with Kane, and then Randy Orton and Daniel find out that they have to fight. They have a match later on in the show. So then Randy and Daniel get together, and they have this quick little 30-second promo where Randy does a great job. Where I actually, when he is just delivering, his lines, he does a lot with his face, and he sells a lot indirectly. And I buy that.
Yeah.
I totally buy that. Now here's Daniel, who probably needs a Prozac the size of a handball. Okay, he probably needs Dr. Phil to show up instead of someone from the WWE. But that's what transpired there. And then my favorite, it's the fourth match.
3 hours into the show?
2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah, really.
Well, Fandango comes out, and I am such a big fan of him. I started following him on Twitter, and if you follow him on Twitter, you will see. Yeah, he spits out the best stuff. I mean, when you're following him on Twitter, he's in character, he's hilarious, and he's a little off too. Like, because English is his second language, he doesn't quite understand half the stuff that's being said, and so he doesn't know if he should take it personal or not. And it's just really, really funny. So here comes Fandango.
Fandango.
Was that me?
That was God. That was God.
Stefan in the booth, you did a very, very good job. And Fandango comes out, and he is this incredible dancer. He's just does a salsa dancing or whatever with Summer Rae, who I like so much better than who he had before. Yeah, she's hot.
She'll work.
Okay, all right. I give you that, but she can also dance. And
she could do the splits. That's just that's a plus in any man's.
Yeah. Okay. We have a lady present. If you don't think of me, please think of Rick's significant other over there.
I was only talking about her gymnast background.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sure you were. Okay,
completely.
Yeah.
So they do this great dance routine, and I just love watching Fandango before a match. He is so funny. He is so confident in his delivery when he's dancing, even though he's really, kind of just moving around. He sells it, and it's probably some of the best stuff I've seen since Honky Tonk.
He trains at Arthur Murray's on Van Nuys Boulevard. I've seen him as I go by and look in the window. Yeah, he's in there dancing.
Oh, okay. Well, please give me the address so I can stop by. I am like one of his biggest fans.
Now, I think people take to Fandango because he's a character.
Yeah.
And that's something wrestling is missing is characters. Like,
yes.
What is his name? Curtis Axel to me is not a character. It's just somebody with two names thrown together. Mr. Perfect was a character. When he would bowl a 300 game and he would golf and get a hole in one, and he would always come and throw the towel behind him and then catch it in his other hand.
Spit his gum up and bat it away.
Yeah, character.
Yeah, totally.
And characters in wrestling go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Because, me and my brother did freestyle wrestling, high school, college wrestling, and it's boring to watch. It's unless you do it and know the difficulties and how hard the training is. Just to do a 3-minute wrestling match, or 2 3-minute rounds back then, is very difficult. But it's boring to watch. So when they take people and let them throw them off the ropes and give them characters, it becomes entertaining. Now UFC has more characters than WWE does.
Yeah, they're changing too.
Yeah.
Yeah? I don't watch a lot of UFC.
Because it's drawing a bigger crowd.
Oh, I'll be darned. Okay, well, so Fandango comes out. It's a really quick squash match, basically, with Zack Ryder, who's a hometown boy. So he gets big cheers from the crowd.
And a jobber now.
A jobber in his hometown.
Yeah.
He
That
actually
never happened.
Yeah, he is residing in Job City. From Job City, already in the ring.
Yeah.
How do you become a jobber in your hometown?
I don't know.
Only from Vince.
Well, they gave him 2 elbows and a punch this time.
Yeah.
This is his hometown. Not just
And
the
he
2
sold
elbows.
it to the match.
Well, so it was a very, very short match, but I don't think you needed more. It was just a great way to remember that Fandango's part of this crew, because he went. Well, I don't think we saw him last week.
Yeah, he hasn't been on either for what was it, like 2 weeks or
So
something?
Fandango?
Yeah.
He's been at Arthur Murray's.
Oh, that's right. He's at
Oh, my
Arthur
gosh.
Murray's
Yeah.
over on Van Nuys.
Okay, then I don't know if you want to call it a promo, or it definitely wasn't a skit, but it was a video package showing Ryback's Rampage. And it was pretty impressive because it was just table after table and the Cena thing, and it was just it was just really high impact and just showing how violent Ryback can get.
Those tables aren't cheap.
You know
either.
what, though? They shoot some nice videos when they put those things together.
Oh, very, very well done.
They're really well done.
Yeah.
Well,
editing, everything is great.
Yeah.
You know, anybody that's ever been to a WWF, WWE TV taping, and you see the semis pull in with the state-of-the-art everything.
Right.
And one is just nothing but camera equipment and monitors.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You know, they can outdo most TV shows.
They can cut it on the fly, too, right?
Oh, they
there,
can.
boom.
Oh, yeah, they do. So, I mean, it's very impressive.
And then again, for the listeners out there, Al Burke, Mr. Outrageous, was with the World Wrestling Federation in the late 80s and into the 90s, and then went on as an independent wrestler in the circuit, better known as Mr. Outrageous.
Are you going back?
Not unless they call me.
Okay.
I'm not making any calls.
Until the Ballards broke his back with the 10-minute misconduct.
Goddamn 10-minute misconduct. Oh, gee. And I got a bad back anyway. And these guys locked me up. I have no idea. And all of a sudden it's like, yeah, thanks, guys. They were laughing, too. I mean,
He said he'd give you a
when did that
massage for
happen?
that.
How'd that happen?
we did a 16-man battle royal about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
And it was myself, these two characters, and then the Los Chivos.
Yeah, the Chivos.
And so, you know, they were taking turns beating my ass like a stepchild. And then, you know, them and the Los Chivos started, you know, getting on each other's nerves and going at it. And
It's a fun show.
I remember a show we did that you actually promoted up off the 2 freeway.
locking you out of high
Up
school.
in
Yes,
Nevada. And you got your head split open with a chair and sat back in the dressing room getting stitches.
Oh.
You really split your head.
Who hit you?
Gary the Crook.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, it's one. And I always told the guys, if you're going to hit me, you know, make it real. Do not puss out on this. Oh, he did. It was 9 staples to close my head.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
And I remember there was a nurse there, and you know, people are like, well, where'd you hide all that blood? And I'm like, what? You know, I mean, I was just covered.
I was going to use my staple gun, but my son borrowed it and never returned it until today.
But there was a nurse that happened to be there. She looked, she's like, oh my God, you got to go to the hospital. This is wide.
It was
open."
bad.
And I'm like, nah, I ain't got time, sorry.
No, but it was bad.
Oh,
I,
no.
I saved a vial of your blood. I wear it on like Fridays around my neck.
You've never been the same since.
Ugh.
Oh, funny. Okay, so back to the SmackDown. There's a quick little Diva promo. And I haven't seen...
Was that Vince again?
No.
I opened the door to that one. You're welcome, Vince.
Hey-o.
It's Caitlyn and Nat, and they chat about Caitlyn meeting her secret admirer for the first time, and she's going to do it in front of a live audience, and they kind of built that up.
She's going to do it in front of a live audience.
No, she's going to meet her secret admirer
gotcha.
in front of a live audience, and hopefully that'll play out nice. I don't know why we haven't seen a Diva match in a while.
Because they can't work.
We didn't say that in this Albert.
Burn!
No.
OMG!
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the divas today. I mean, I think most of them, if they spent more time working, learning how to wrestle. You guys wrestle a lot, and I got to give you, you know, kudos to all of you.
Thanks.
You guys busted your ass. You actually were workers. I don't consider these girls, divas, workers for the most part. There's a few that are, but you know, these guys. I mean, they may have outdone me. I mean, I probably did more years, but these guys are really out hustling. We worked. I mean, we went out and tried to make things happen. You guys made things happen. The divas today, you know, the TNA show. Yeah, it's all fine, but you know, we want to see wrestling.
Yeah.
Maybe if they had a chance, you know, maybe if the organization said, you know, let's get tougher. Let's see more
I don't think they care.
spectacular matches.
They did that.
I think that
When?
back
During-
when with Lita.
Trish.
Yeah.
When
these
they
girls
had
were-
the
yeah.
talent,
In the
Lita,
90s?
Trish,
Yeah.
and also I think
Yeah.
the best talent was
Molly
am I
Holly?
going- Who? Molly Holly.
Yes, Molly
Oh,
Holly.
Was
yeah.
phenomenal. All the girls loved her.
Yeah.
She was the best worker, and everyone learned from her. When you have somebody like that, then the bar gets raised.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
now they don't have anybody to raise the bar.
Yes,
Sherry Martel.
Oh, Sherry Martel, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny that you should say that because this year at the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion, Molly Holly was inducted as the female honoree, as a female legend. So she
And
got her
well-deserved.
just desserts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lisa Moretti, who played Ivory.
Yeah, she was
who-
good too.
She was very good. She was there. She gave the induction speech. And
She's a good kisser too, by the way.
How was that?
Yeah.
How
What's
was that? How was that? How would you know that? I mean, because I have Lisa's number. I can
He has an
call her right
imagination
now.
as well.
Actually,
He doesn't know. His brother told him.
Call her. She'll tell you.
I will.
Yeah, call her,
Okay,
ask
you'll
her.
have to follow us on Twitter
Yeah.
for the after show, the after show of the after show.
Right.
But I will definitely tweet after I give her a call
Yeah,
and find
good.
out what
So
she
if you're a
thinks about Jim.
no-show next week, we're going to know that you're talking crap.
You have to tune in.
At least I'll be sitting in this chair.
I did a show with her out in Lancaster, and the dressing rooms were like a desert. They had sheets over the dressing rooms,
Yeah.
like in the wind, and it was like 110 out there.
Yeah, we actually got to work her a lot. She's a really good worker. I always had fun working her.
Yeah.
And of course,
we did a
kissing her
six-man.
was in the ring, unfortunately. But when we did our first dark match for WWE, she was hitting on me on the bar in the bar.
Seriously.
Yeah, she was.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And that he would say that on a live podcast. How exciting. That's awesome. That's
He
awesome.
sneezed.
Okay, so here it is. It's the main event. It's the 5th match, and it is the Hounds of Justice, the Shield, which was making up of Roman and Seth. Dean wasn't coming out in the first part of this, so it's a tag team match. And so they're tagging against Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan. And then
Good match.
It was.
It was a really good match.
Was there something that you liked in particular?
Yes. I like the match.
All the
Shield can work.
DDTs and
They
the drop
worked
kicks.
hard. Their timing was perfect. Their comebacks were strong. They just had everything down. It was just like perfect.
The Shield, they could work.
They can
They're good
work.
workers.
Yeah, and they knew when to come in, when not to come in. It was just not boring at all. The whole thing was great. And they did one last week, the same. Remember they had the 6-man tag?
Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing.
It was like that.
Yeah.
It was just as good as that.
Yeah, they've got it down now. They do this like shark attack thing, and it is brilliant. It is so good. And I paid particular attention to, even though the mic wasn't, picking them up real good, I could hear them talking to each other, and the way they were selling verbally was awesome. They'd be like, "Come on, get up, team!"
Yes, they were.
It was so awesome. I love
Can
that.
I go back one page just for 1 second?
Yeah.
Speaking of the mic and that, when Ryback had his match with Kane, he was wrestling and doing his stuff, and over the audio system, you heard, "Feed me more, feed me more." And they piped that in during the match. I don't know if everybody caught it,
I
but it
didn't.
wasn't coming out of his mouth, but you could hear it,
Wow.
"Feed me more."
Wow.
So I got up and ate. But
We can't believe this guy.
No, they did. I swear they did it. I kept hearing it echoing off my walls. And "Feed me
That was your
more."
stomach that was saying
Could
that.
have been. Stomach says a lot to me at night.
I'm so gullible. I believe everything
No,
that you say.
no, I'm telling you the truth.
And going back a few pages, I heard that Sheamus is actually getting sued by some of the suntan lotion companies because they say it's bad for their business. Because now no one's going to want to tan; they're going to want to look like Sheamus.
If you
Oh, I
you,
don't
you
think
can
so.
capitalize on this right now.
Yeah.
You can open a tanning salon that has a reverse process and call it Lighten Up.
Yeah, I like
Right?
that.
The Sheamus tan, Lighten
Yeah.
Up.
I remember when
Good idea.
Hawk was working against
Use black lights.
Dan Severn. They tied up, and the first thing you heard was "Lighten up,"
Oh, yeah.
and they went home within 30 seconds.
Well, see, that's the
With a
two-part
lockup.
meaning then, where Sheamus is Lighten Up and then Lighten
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah, that was the other lighten up.
That's the other
Wait,
Lighten
who
Up.
yelled lighten up?
Hawk.
Did he?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh, no, those guys were great. I worked
Yeah,
against
we
them a
worked
lot.
the Road Warriors and Dan Severn and Dan Severn. We thought, oh, he's like a shoot fighter, so we were kicking him in the head, like just like punting him, and he's looking up and he's going, "Come on, guys!" And we're in the back. And as soon as we get to the back, he comes back. I'm like, "Oh no, he's gonna want to kill us." He goes, "Guys, it's a work, okay, okay." And I was like, "Okay." He's a really nice guy, though. But
I saw him with
Lucky
Dallas
for
Page.
you.
yeah, I know.
I saw him with Dallas Page with the Fitness Expo about a year ago, walking around. It's like just lumbering around. I don't know what he was doing. He is a nice guy.
Yeah, he is nice.
He's a
very,
tough-
very, very nice guy.
Well, what did you think about Daniel and his inferiority complex as he comes out and he's still ranting and raving and an emotional train wreck during the whole match?
But he was at his
Where is
he was at his game. He was good.
Yeah.
He again pulled out all these old school moves and holds that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, he's a submission specialist. that
Oh
guy,
my God,
yeah.
he was good. He had
Is
some
he?
great stuff.
Yeah. And he's a vegan or vegetarian, just in case
He's a
any of the
vegetarian.
listeners.
Yes.
Oh, well. I wouldn't know anything about that. Okay, so Randy and Daniel win by DQ because Dean comes in and interferes. Did you
Isn't
see
that the
that?
way?
Yeah.
Isn't it like nowadays? Remember that back in the day of the Freebirds, now they're trying to they're bringing back like the 3-person groups, which I think is good.
I like it.
Yeah.
They should have a belt. I really think they should have the
Or a trophy like they
six-man
did in
tag
the day.
Yeah,
Remember?
The
championship.
bowling
Wild
trophy, the
Samoans.
TV trophy.
Wild Samoans. I mean, every week they were on TV, and they always had, the 2 guys that could work and the 1 jobber.
Yeah.
And you'd always be like yelling at the TV, going, "No, don't tag him back in. You've got this match. You've got this match. Don't tag that jobber back in."
It'd be the Samoans versus Sweet Hansen and S.T. Jones and
Ken Jugan.
and Ken Jugan or Jobber A, and then Sweet Hansen would come in and clean house, and then he'd tag in Ken Jugan. He'd just walk right into the Samoan drop. And we'd be like pushing the TV and throwing stuff like, why?
You could have won the championship. Why did you tag him back in? You knew he was a weak link.
We actually snuck in when they came down to the Olympic Auditorium. We snuck down, and when Sweet Hansen was walking to the ring, we grabbed him and said, "Don't tag him. You guys might win if you don't tag Ken Jugan in."
Me as our.
Oh, that's
And you know what?
awesome.
He did not listen to us. And guess what? They tagged
lost.
Ken Jugan in, Samoan drop, done.
Done.
Yeah.
End of story.
We knew something back then.
They should have known.
Yeah.
Should have, but you didn't.
Speaking of getting dropped and done, that's exactly what Randy did to Daniel at the very end of that match. He was just so fed up with
Yeah.
Daniel and the emotional baggage that Daniel's carrying right now, and he wasn't a big fan in the beginning and wasn't crazy about tagging with him, and at the end, bam.
Was that after
Was it
the third Shield came in?
Yeah, after Dean.
Dean, yeah.
Just as kind of like they were leaving. It was like one last.
Well, Dean
smack
came
the
in
face.
and did the whole mess at the end, right?
Yeah, he
he
did.
came in.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe Daniel just needs a friend.
I'll be his friend. I will. I'll be his friend.
Look at that glow.
Yeah.
I know. Literally.
Literally. For real.
Thank you very much. So that was SmackDown, and
The last match was, I didn't get to watch that night, Friday, so I watched it last night, the main event, and I really enjoyed it. I was fresh, I didn't have to sit through 2 hours, so it wasn't a lot of promos, but the main event was the best part.
Yeah, but Rick, we do SmackDown, not main event. That's a totally different show.
Well, I did I know.
Yeah, don't listen to it. Can we cut his mic?
Who's Mike?
Don't forget the star wipe.
So, Al,
Yes.
you gave some great perspective of what's going on in the wrestling world from behind the scenes, and you brought all that knowledge to the table. What are you doing right now? I mean, you drove up here from Long Beach because you were working with the Special Olympics, which you've been doing for over 20 years. Is that right?
22 years in California and then 7 years in other states.
I went with you 1 year on Santa Monica Pier.
That was the Pierre del Sol.
Okay.
That's a fundraiser for the Special Olympics. My complaint there is usually the athletes aren't invited. It's for the big money people.
Oh.
We take over the whole arcade for 4 hours. It's ours, not open to the public. Wow. And so we run that, and it's kind of
Awesome.
fun. But like I said, I'm there for the athletes. The muckety mucks that are writing checks for $1 million. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
I understand that that's what it takes to make it work.
Yeah.
But let's get the athletes involved.
Right. Well, you don't win the CAC Cauliflower Alley Club Humanitarian Award for nothing, and that's exactly what they gave Al Burke. And I'm so happy that you
That's
were
nice.
here.
When'd you get that?
That was 2012.
Congratulations. I didn't know
Thank
that.
you.
That's
Thank you.
wonderful.
Yeah, I've
Who presented to you? Nick Danger?
no, actually Carl Lauer.
Oh, Carl.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Carl and I go way back. Carl had actually got me my first part in a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. All I had to do is beat up, kidnap, and kill Mexicans in East L.A.
Oh, we do that all the time.
I'm
around
like,
here. That's part of living in the valley.
And you're doing what now? Because I'm seeing a lot of photos coming up, and you're in a police uniform. What are you shooting?
I do a lot of things as a cop. That's about 75-80% of my work.
How do you think he makes his
Stripping.
dates? He pulls them over at night with a red light.
Actually, he's a stripper, and that's his gimmick. Is
Yeah.
he knocks on the doors.
He does parties.
I wouldn't laugh about that because there's a lot of girls that love that uniform.
So what do you guys want to see happen next week? We're going to watch SmackDown. What do
How
you
about
wanna
some
see?
wrestling?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Sorry.
Well, I'm curious. I'd like to see. I definitely want to see Fandango, in a legit match. I want to see the Shield. I think they need to be in every show. I just love looking at them. They're so awesome.
They actually brought a new life to the show.
Yeah,
They
they
did.
did. But
Yeah.
did you notice that anytime they attack somebody, the camera goes up and down, up and down. It gives it more of a dramatic effect. watch. It's like now that I've said that, you'll see every time they kick, they'll go down to like give you the effect that they're doing more damage than they're actually doing.
That.
Makes it look like the earthquake.
Right.
Okay, you guys, long hair wrestlers and all that, and the great history.
Who are these guys?
No, you, Shannon and Shane. What are they putting in their hair to make it like wet and all over the place? Is it a product or is it water?
It's usually water.
Most of the time they spray it right before they come down.
Water.
With what,
They spray
water?
it with water, yeah.
They spray it down with water.
Yeah,
So,
sometimes they use like this stuff called Infusion 23, and it gives it like a wet look.
you know why
Like a
they do
leave-in
that, right?
conditioner.
Yeah.
No, because they're supposed to be.
They're supposed to be warming up back in the back and coming out ready to roll, and so they're all sweaty and wet, and that's what they use.
Plus, it gives a
Thank
better
you.
effect, like when you get hit and your hair flies and it's all wet.
And the
like,
water flies with it,
flies
yeah.
out,
Yeah, nice. Thank you for that insider tip.
Oh yeah.
Well, and that happens right at the old gorilla position. I mean, you guys.
Yeah, exactly, right, yeah.
Gorilla Monsoon used to be sitting there right at the curtain, and he'd go,
Yeah.
but that was the gorilla position. That's where everybody,
Yeah.
final preps before you go to the ring.
Right there.
Walk
Right.
up the little stairs, and then there's like you're in a. That's where like they have the monitor. Usually Triple H or Stephanie or some big wig is. When I actually got called up to do the Hardy, I was Pat Hardy. I was Matt Hardy's cousin. He actually we wrestled those guys and we knew him, and he actually recommended me. And then they had like 3 of our students that came along and did it as well. But Vince was sitting there in that gorilla position. And right when we were getting ready to walk out, I mean, I was so nervous because they were going to hit our music and we were supposed to go down there. And then all of a sudden, Vince gets right in front of me and stops me and goes, I said animated. Because earlier in the day, he's like, we're doing the prep for it. And we're walking down. We're like, hey. And he's like, you guys aren't even animated, right? And we're like, well, there's nobody here. I mean, we will be when the crowd's here.
Yeah.
So he singled me out. And right when I went to walk out, he just got in front of me and I said animated. I was like, okay.
Is it intimidating to have a finger in the chest by Vince?
Yeah, he's like an intimidating.
We just got the sign to wrap up.
Okay.
You get shooting daggers at us through the window.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
So where can we find you, Angelina?
You can find me on Twitter at Little Egypt, Facebook, Glow, my first name, Little Egypt, my second name, Serious Inquiries Only at AngelinaAltician.com. And I'll see you next week.
How about Al Burke? Where can we find you? On Facebook?
I am on Facebook as Al. I think it's _Burke or -Burke, but MrOutrageous.com is the
Right,
easiest.
that's your website.
And everything goes off of there.
Okay. And you, buddy?
Next week we're taking a week off to rest his broken hand and my broken finger from last night. And then the following week we've got Vendetta Pro Wrestling in Lompoc, California.
Wow, busy guys.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be washing my car this week. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you
With
have
my
time,
shirt off.
If you have time, you can catch me at rickdrasin.com.
That's correct.
And rickscorner.com.
Yes.
And also here.
Right.
And also on
Anabolic Outlaws.
Anabolic Outlaws sponsors, and new Pace Boss, which is the little app that you take when you run, and I can coach you through your workouts and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. Paceboss.com.
I bet that's effective.
We had fun today.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and thank you for joining us.
Yep.
It's great having you.
And next time we'll talk about baseball. Baseball been very, very good to me.
Very, very good, Manny.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.